Hi, thank you for watching Digging to China. I'm Dong Shang. The Trump administration on Wednesday banned imports of cotton and tomato products from Xinjiang. This is the broadest U.S. ban yet to target allegations of forced labor practices in the northwest Chinese region. U.S. Customs and Border Protection said agents have been instructed to detain shipments containing these products, including those routed through or assembled in third countries in products such as apparel or tomato sauce. The U.S. and other Western governments have criticized Beijing for human rights abuses in Xinjiang, where the Chinese government has rounded up Turkic-speaking Uyghurs and other predominantly Muslim minorities into a region-wide network of internment camps. After locking up as many as 1 million people in camps in Xinjiang, Chinese authorities are destroying Uyghur neighborhoods and purging the region's culture. They say they are fighting terrorism, but their real aim is to engineer a society loyal to Beijing. Companies face increasing scrutiny over the supply chains in China. The new ban could have a significant impact, especially in the apparel sector, which has already faced a number of customs restrictions amid concerns about forced labor linked to the camps. Beijing has denied such allegations and calls the camps vocational training centers. A spokesperson for the Chinese embassy in Washington called the forced labor allegations groundless and criticized Wednesday's order as an attempt by the U.S. to suppress Xinjiang enterprises. China is one of the world's top cotton producers. Xinjiang produced 5 million metric tons of cotton in 2019, or about 85% of China's total production, according to the National Bureau of Statistics of China. The U.S. imported approximately $9 billion in cotton products from China and $10 million in tomato products in the past year, according to the Customs Agency's Office of Trade. 4 trade associations, the American Apparel and Footwear Association, the National Retail Federations, the Retail Industry Leaders Association, and the U.S. Fashion Industry Association, together said they looked forward to working with U.S. Customs, while urging the agency to share the evidence that led to the new ban. The group said the Wednesday order, quote, matches our members' accelerated commitment in this region. The industry is pioneering and implementing new technologies and innovative approaches to decipher where supply chains are susceptible to forced labor, particularly in Xinjiang, unquote. Ketchup producer Kraft Heinz Corporation has one supplier in Xinjiang, but none of those tomato products are exported or used in the U.S., said a company spokesperson. Consequently, we do not anticipate any impact from Wednesday's order, he said, adding that all Kraft Heinz suppliers are regularly audited by a third party. The Trump administration has pressured U.S. companies with business linked to Xinjiang over the past year, pushing them to closely monitor their supply chains for potential exposure to forced labor. Customs officials who suspect a product was made with forced labor can issue withhold release orders for agents to stop that cargo from certain suppliers at a U.S. port. Stopped shipments would trigger an investigation into how the goods were made and potentially steep fines. Companies whose shipments have been seized will have to provide proof showing the absence of forced labor or that forced labor conditions have been mitigated through documentation such as payroll records and third-party audits. That could run into obstacles, as some independent auditors have said they would no longer help companies audit their supply chains in Xinjiang. Companies looking over their supply chains also face the challenge of tracing Xinjiang cotton, which is often mixed with raw materials from other Chinese regions before being spun into yarn. Last year, U.S. Customs issued 9 withhold release orders against Chinese entities, 8 of which were linked to forced labor allegations in Xinjiang. Under such an order issued in November on cotton products produced by the Xinjiang Production and Construction Corps, a state-owned paramilitary organization known as XPCC. U.S. Customs detained 43 shipments valued at more than $2 million in July. The Treasury Department imposed its own sanctions on XPCC as well as 2 men connected to the group, freezing assets connected to them within any U.S. jurisdiction. Alleging links to human rights abuses, the Commerce Department blacklisted Chinese manufacturers that supply to top U.S. companies for human rights abuses in Xinjiang. Other Western countries are also stepping up pressure on China because of concerns over forced labor in Xinjiang. This week, UK Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab said British companies would face fines unless they can show their supply chains don't use forced labor. In December, the European Union adopted a resolution strongly condemning China over allegations of forced labor by minorities in Xinjiang. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. Just click the subscribe button right here. I'll see you again shortly.